Thanks for doing it as well, man. I appreciate you taking the time out, like, of your lovely looking life that you've got.
Yeah, well, we're in Dubai. I don't know whether I told you that or not, but yeah, we're based in Dubai. Um, and we were due to go to Thailand for a week. Um, that was the when was that? It was early March. The I think the 14th of March till the 21st of March, we were supposed to go to Phuket. And then obviously with the situation in Dubai with what's going on, I thought let's just go a little bit earlier, and then then we've stayed. So we've been. I mean, it's going on 2 months. We'll nearly be here 2 months. So it's I mean, it's been lovely.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not a bad place to be staying.
it's good. Yeah, no, we're really lucky.
How did your sort of journey into music start? What made you start doing your music?
I got into it when I mean, I've loved music since I was a kid. Um, Yeah, I mean, getting a bag of vinyls off my granddad, like a load of 60s records, basically. And he just gave me a bag of them, and I had a vinyl. Someone gave me a record player, so I used to just listen to everything there, and then just sing in my room and with a hairbrush, like everyone starts. Or they might not admit it, but that's probably how everyone starts.
Yeah.
And then yeah, when I was 16, I've always loved the drums. So I just taught myself to play drums, got into a band with a couple of mates from school. And then yeah, we'd done a couple of gigs. So I grew up in Southport, which is like 30 minutes from Liverpool city centre. And another band had seen us, and I got a call and said, will you come down for an audition? So I spoke to my mates. It was like my best mates, but we'd sort of come to a little bit of a crossroads, and I said, do you mind if I go to this audition? He said, no, it's okay. Just, we're not really doing that much at the moment. So I went and joined another band, and then the same thing happened again, a couple of years later. And then I was in a band for 10 years with a band called Cardello. So Liverpool band. Um, yeah, the other two lads were from Liverpool, and yeah, we used to play around Liverpool, the Zanzibars, and where the Coral and the Zootons and the Stands
Yeah.
used to. There was the big bandwagon event which the Bandits put on. So yeah, we used to play around Liverpool and Manchester. Um, yeah, we did a gig in. We got asked, actually. There was like a guy from down south who was a promoter, and he was basically we got asked to do the Baby Shambles after party in Liverpool. So he was a southern promoter, but he'd obviously had a look and seen what bands were operating at the time, and they asked us to do it, which was great. And then we were on the same bill with like another band called the Holloways. Don't know whether you've heard of
Yeah,
them.
I've done a chat with the Holloways.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on the page. I've done
Oh,
someone with Alfie, the lead singer.
the lad who wears the
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
granddad cap thing.
yeah,
Yeah, so small world.
yeah. It's
So
crazy, isn't it?
yeah, so it was the Holloways, it was Cardello, and we did the after party. But Pete Doherty had been on for I think he'd been on like a 4 day or 5 day bender with Kate Moss and a few others, and didn't make it to his own gig. Um, so that happened, but we still had a great time. The after party went ahead, and in fact, everyone who was obviously going to watch the gig, I can't remember whether the gig happened or whether it didn't. We didn't really care. We weren't going to watch it anyway. But yeah, we ended up doing the after party, which was great. We also went to London. Um, and the sort of guru Alan McGee asked us to come
Yeah.
down and play. He used to do a private event. He had a private club on South Molton Street, so we went down, played there. Andy Bell from Oasis was it was only a small sort of private, intimate thing. So he was watching us. Dirty Pretty Things played after us.
Ah, quality.
So yeah, I mean they used my drum kit, in fact. So yeah, I was a drummer then. And then I was the youngest in the group. I was the baby of the band. And sort of we all had jobs, decent jobs. and the singer had a couple of kids, and then we just sort of got a bit tired and lost momentum and stuff. Things started to happen. We had little glimmers of hope, and it's so hard to make it, as everyone knows. So yeah, we had a bit of a break for a bit, and then we're still great mates now. They're like my brothers, Dave and Liam, who I was in a band with. So yeah, I moved to Dubai in 2013. Missed music. Taught myself how to play the guitar. Thought, let's start writing some songs. Let's see if I can do it, because I've always been in originals bands, never done covers. So it's always been our own music, and I didn't know I could do it because I've never had to do it.
Yeah.
Sudden, I'm on my own with a guitar, and I just thought I'll just have a go. So that's what I've done over the last few years, and then um, I basically quit work in September. Well, I resigned 3 months earlier. I've always been into like operations management. So I was an operations director for a really big company over there. And I just thought, I just need a little, I've had enough of this for a bit. I need to do something that I want to do, that I've always wanted to do. And it's sort of been grating away at me. I've got all these songs there that I'm not doing anything with. So I finished in September, finished off the songs, started doing some home recording, some demos, sent them over to New Zealand. The reason I went to Auckland to do the songs was Dave, who I was in a band with, who I mentioned before. He lives over there, so he's been doing some solo stuff. Found a nice studio, found a few people, good engineers, and stuff like this. So yeah, I went over and recorded. Yeah, my music there. It was tough because I've done everything myself basically. So I did the drums, I did all the vocals, all the backing vocals, the guitar. And then I used a session musician to do the lead guitar and the bass. Lad called Ben Hager, really good musician. So I'd sent him the stuff, the demos that I'd done in advance, and we were sending things back and forth to each other, and we finally got to where I wanted the parts to be. And yeah, went over there in November and December, recorded. And then yeah, I've just started releasing them basically.
Ah, cool.
So
So yeah, you were in a
that's
band.
it.
Do you miss the band life? Because obviously you're
Oh
solo
yeah,
now.
yeah, I really do. And we always, the three of us always talk about it now. We wish, because I'd been in two previous bands, they'd been in multiple bands, and we just really wish we'd met each other, say, even 5 years before.
Yeah.
Uh, because we were close to a couple of bits and pieces here and there. So I think if we'd have had, 5 years previous, we might have gone on to do something, bigger. Um, but it is what it is. But I
Yeah.
really miss the camaraderie.
Yeah,
And
'cause it's
it's
got to be a
really,
good crack. I think the crack would
oh,
be
it's
brilliant in a
amazing.
band.
And you start off with, the songwriter brings, the bones of something he's got, and then you start jamming and you put the flesh and everything else onto it. Um, and then you build something together, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Um, so when you've got to do it yourself, and you're playing you're recording the guitar, and then I'm jumping onto the drum kit, and I'm
Yeah, so I think
practicing, and
that's a talent in itself because you've got to put all that together yourself. With a band, you've got other ears listening for things like. So when
yeah,
you're on your own, it's a different level, ain't it?
it is. But I think you've got to just not think too much and just keep the songs honest, and just put something out there that you want, that you like, which is what I've done really. I've just tried to keep things simple, melodic, catchy, um, and yeah, that's what I've done. And I was really happy with how they've all come out. I've released two now, as you'll know. Yeah, and I've got quite a few more that I'm going to release probably monthly. Um, I don't want to give everything at the same time, and
Yeah, I think you're better
don't
just
want to.
drip feeding in, yeah, I think.
Yeah, so I've probably two of the strongest songs. Um, I'm probably going to release them next. I've been holding them back just to give people little bits of pieces, and then I'll release the strongest stuff shortly. Yeah, I mean, what did you think? I mean, it's really interesting for people like yourself, contacting me, and
Yeah, see, I
so it's
liked it. I
yeah.
like the latest song. I forget. I should write the list of names of the songs down. So my memory's
Are you
terrible.
coming?
Yeah, yeah, I really like that. It had like a good sort of little bit of a '60s feel to it. I thought it was decent.
Yeah,
Like, I like all my sort of old school sort of music as well. So I like anything that's got a bit of a retro vibe to it as well. So
yeah,
it was
yeah.
good. Listen, it's easy listening as well, which is always good
Well,
with
that's what I
music.
wanted. Yeah,
Yeah. Ah, that's cool. What yeah, see also as well. See how you've moved to Dubai as well. What motivated that? And like did it it's obviously Liverpool's like obviously you're not from Liverpool, but that sort of area of the country, it's a big music
yeah,
sort of vibe, isn't there? Is that the same
massive.
sort
Yeah.
of shift in Dubai? So I couldn't imagine it being a music place.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, there's so many bars. I mean, it's a very busy city, very vibrant city. So there's always, and there's hundreds of thousands of bars. So you've got a lot of singers, but it's mainly covers. Um, in terms of the original scene, I'm yet to sort of see that.
Yeah.
And I was just about to start to get involved in that. That was the next step in Dubai. In fact, while I've been here, um, a girl contacted me who runs a night of some original artists. So she asked me to this was last week. She asked me to do the 1st of May, and I've said that's probably not gonna happen. Told her obviously why, and we'll be coming back when all these deals are sorted internationally. Um, so yeah, I'll probably do something there on the 1st of June. That'll be their next night. So I'll see. What my next plan was to, because I don't want to go out and do acoustic stuff really. I will do. Um, but what I want to do is want to go out with a band.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not going to be a case of I don't want a band, but I want a backing band for me. The good thing is all the tunes are done there. There's nothing really to do for everyone else other than learn the songs as they are, and come and play. So there's some jam nights and things. So I've been sort of looking at potential musicians to approach. So that was the next phase. But obviously things have changed a little bit. But
Yeah, it's first banner and
what
all that.
happens like so. Yeah, and hopefully it'll all be over soon, and I can get back to that phase.
So do you
But
think
yeah,
it'd be quite challenging with like there? Because obviously with the UK, I know it's got quite a good music scene for sort of people doing their own thing. Like with Liverpool and London and stuff, there's always somewhere you can
especially what
go
I'm
and play.
used to.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it'd be quite a challenge trying to do it in Dubai or Thailand, I think, with it.
it will. Well, yeah, I mean, Thailand, potentially I could do something here, um, which has been somewhere in my mind, in case we don't get back sooner than we hope. Um, I could always get a few lads together, but yeah, it is, because it was so it was so easy there. I mean, I started with a group of mates from school, and then I was approached twice, and it was just I didn't need to put any effort in. I was just on a conveyor belt from band to band, really. Um, and then it was just everything's so organic, and a lot of people have attuned the same way. There's a scene, and you can bounce off a lot of other bands and stuff. And there were so many great bands when we were playing. Um, I mean, so many were signed, weren't they? There was that the sort of early 2000s.
Well, I mean, I
There
miss
was
that. I love that scene, the indie scene alone. I was like, that
yeah,
was mad. That was when I was about 18 as well, just getting at my drinking. It was a great
yeah,
period.
yeah. So and it's sad, isn't it? I think the music scene's changed so much that I don't even know what it's like for instance, in Liverpool now. Because I don't get back that often. And I've not really seen anyone coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, what's it like? What are the kids doing these days? Are they online gaming, or are they getting in a room with musicians like we used to do?
Well, see, I think with the
Because
streaming
when I
side
was
of it,
younger,
sort of ruined it because it's like everything seems to be a quick turnaround, and it's like at least like years ago, you got an album, and that album you'd listen to that album for like months, and
yeah.
now it's like, what's the next? And it's like it's a quite. I hate the streaming era. I definitely hate that side of it.
Well, and this has been why I've got the strategy of releasing it just one by one, because I've had to adjust. Normally, you just throw everything out, and it's like, here it is. There you go. Off you go. You pick your favorite song, and you listen. Everyone gets to listen to the whole thing. I mean, back in the day, it was an album release, and it was like, okay, it's coming out on Friday or Saturday. Let's go down to HMV, and you get it, and you take it home, and you sit by your stereo, and you listen to it from start to finish. And um, it was like yeah, I mean, it was like almost sort of a religious thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's all really gone now from what I can see, because everything's so attainable, instant, and it's great. If I was a kid again and I had this access to all the music, I had to really search for CDs and on all sorts of stuff to really get my education. Now it's easy for people because they can say, okay, this band from then, and you just instantly you've got the album. So from that side of things, it's great. But from the other side of things is musicians, and yeah, I'm not sure whether I like it, but you've got to try and adjust to it. We can't just sit here and say we don't like it, can
yeah,
we? We've got to try and adjust and move forward. So that's the whole reason why I've just been releasing one and then another one, and because I've sort of tried to put my feet in the customer's shoes, if you like.
yeah.
So yeah, but it is what it is.
It makes things a lot harder to make money now as well, doesn't it, with music, I think, with because it
Yeah,
doesn't, like Spotify especially pay horrendously. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
And the thing is for me as well.
0.0004 or something. It's terrible.
Oh yeah, it's buttons, isn't it? For me, it's I mean, it's not about the money, luckily. So, I'm just doing it to get the stuff out there, and whoever it reaches, if those songs mean something to someone, then that's okay by me. That's what I want, and I don't want money. I just want to be recognized and for people to appreciate what you've created yourself, something that started in here, and then you slowly get it out and on an acoustic, and then you build it into the song, the production that it is, and get it out there, and that's the magic of it all for me. That's what music is all about. It should really get someone on the human level, emotionally, help motivate people, whatever it does. People listen to music for different things, don't they? But yeah, it's not luckily it's not about the money for me. So I know I know I'm not going to make any money from it. It's just the love of music that I have.
Yeah. That's a cool place to be at as well, because it doesn't put the pressure on you as well, I suppose, to sort of,
Yeah, well, I think, and that's the thing, when you're starting out, you do put a lot of pressure on yourself. Certainly I did, and I know that the lads I was in a band with, we were so dedicated. That's what we were doing. We were 3 times a week after work, and then a full day at the weekend. We were rehearsing, and creating, and then getting, doing gigs at the weekends and sometimes midweek, and um, you're putting this pressure on yourself to make it. That's what everyone does, and it's hard, and it's sort of disheartening when things don't happen over time. Um, but now I'm at a stage where I just think I don't care about all that anymore. I just want to get it done and get it out there, and I'm happy with that.
I like
And
that.
whatever
I was quite
happens,
bad with
happens.
this. When I was posting the videos at first, when you first start doing it, you automatically think you're going to get like thousands and thousands of views, but you don't. It's a slow process. And for some reason now, the
100%.
Instagram ones don't seem to do as well, but the YouTube ones have like shot up to like 10,000 to 11,000 views and
Oh,
stuff. So
really?
for some reason, I don't know why. I don't get the whole algorithm stuff and all that. So I'm just posting and hope it does well. And then if it does well, it does well. But they seem to do well. People always messaging me about the musicians, saying they've listened to them, and so it's doing its job. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and fair play to you for doing that, because you're taking your time out to approach, people like me, and I'm a total unknown to people, so and the fact that you've contacted me, it's like even that makes you feel nice. Just
Yeah,
one person. I only need like one or two people. It's like, wow, they like what I've done, what I've created.
yeah,
And then when people work together and collaborate, like we're doing now, um, you more than me, because you've approached me and you've made the effort to do that. Um, Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? And I think that's
Yeah, I
what
enjoy it.
the world needs more of.
Yeah,
Everyone just seems to want to fight and take stuff off each other. So
yeah.
when people are working together to for a different mindset, it's what life should be about.
Yeah, definitely. I love my music and I love finding new music. So this has been a real good thing for me because I listen to so much more music now that instead of just the normal stuff that I listen to, like the sort of established artists, like, because I love my indie music, like Kasabian and my rap. But it's nice to
Yeah,
hear artists that I've never ever listened to unless I didn't do this page. So it's good and I get to share it. And the page has got a good following now. So it's like more people get to see it. So it's good.
yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I love it, man. Who's sort of been your biggest inspirations for your music?
Oh, there's so many. I mean, there's the Who. Because when I first started off, I was a drummer. So Keith Moon was. I wanted to be Keith Moon. Um, yeah, thankfully I didn't sort of make it. So if I'd have been Keith Moon, I probably would be dead by now. That was
Yeah.
probably a positive that we never did get signed. Um, but although I did want it. But yeah, so the Who were massive for me. The Beatles, obviously. Um, I love Simon and Garfunkel, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Creedence Clearwater Revival.
I love Credence.
Um, who else? Jefferson Airplane, Pink Floyd. I like a lot of psychedelic stuff as well. Um, who else? Um, Johnny Cash.
Yeah, love
Uh,
Credence.
and then obviously you've got your Lars cast, um, Captain Beefheart, Love, um, so many.
Big names
The
in there.
Eagles, the Beach Boys. So, I've listened to lots of different stuff to learn, so harmonies and, if you want to learn about drums or if you want to learn about harmonies or melody, you've just got to force as much sort of music in your ears. And because, people say sort of when people ask you, what's your genre, what's your style? It's like, I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
me, but I can say to people, well, these have been my education. This has been my influences. And you can probably hear little bits and pieces of all of that mashed together. Um, so yeah, that's they've all been the biggest sort of influences. And obviously, I used to listen to Oasis as well, when I was a kid, and Cooler Shaker, and
Love Killer
um,
Shaker.
a lot of the sort of the Britpop era. Um, yeah, Cooler Shaker, amazing. They were so different and really cool. I loved Kings of Leon when they first came out. Um, that first album, Youth and Young Manhood. I remember watching MTV2 and just seeing these lads with long hair and beards, and I thought, wow, these are the boys. Just the way they looked, the type of music they were playing. Um, and then obviously they changed as an album came out. They went a bit more commercial, and fair play to them. They were huge, but I loved them when they first came out, when they probably weren't as big.
Yeah, a bit more of a raw sound, didn't it, when they first started?
Yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah.
great.
So yeah, they're my influences.
See, when you write music as well in your songs, do you do it from a personal place or do you sort of tell stories?
Yeah, it is. It is more personal for me. I Yeah, it's probably a little bit like journaling. We're told that we should journal and put our feelings down on paper, but don't know whether you've ever tried it. It's boring, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
if you do it with music, then it doesn't feel like you're journaling, but it just yeah. So it can be different ways. Sometimes I'll just get a melody, or a subject in my head, and I'll start singing it. And then I'll get my phone out and I'll start, doing a voice note, and then I'll go back to it and then I'll play around with chords and then build something from it. So sometimes I can come up with a chorus, or it might be a verse. Um, Other times I just literally just get the guitar and just start playing away, humming stuff. And um yeah, I it always starts with the melody. The melodies is God, isn't it? So I start with the melody, and then whatever's going on at that time, bits and pieces will come out, and then I start building the song from there. Sometimes I'll write something and then I'll go back to it and then I'll build on the lyrics and the chorus and obviously try and make it all relate to each other so it flows and it's got meaning. Um, I did one of the songs which I've got coming out, um, really nice song. It starts off with a bit of a story. Um, it's called Doing Time. So it's about a guy who goes to prison basically, or he's gonna go to prison for something that he hasn't done. Um, so I started it off being a story about somebody, and then at the end of the song, I did a little bit of a plot twist. It was accidental, really. So I ended up flipping it around to basically mean that the prison was in your own mind. You've been a prisoner of your own mind, basically. So that was a bit of a hybrid, if you like. So, it started off as a bit of a storytelling thing, and then it ended up
Yeah,
being about myself. A lot of my songs are sort of motivational songs for me. You know, it's it's one of those things, a lot of us have got imposter syndrome and low self-esteem, and we're not confident. And so it's about sort of telling myself, yeah, you can do it. And you're better than what you think. I mean, that's one of the lyrics in Millionth Time, which was the previous single to what you've heard. So Millionth Time is about procrastination ultimately, sitting there thinking, oh, I'd like to do something, but you never get round to doing it. And I think that's the thing with anything really. If you want to do something, just get out there and do it, have a go. Um, and it got to the stage, couple of well, last summer, just before I quit my job, where I thought, yeah, no, I'm going to start listening to myself and listening to my lyrics, and fuck it, I'm going to pack the job in and I'm going to start doing something that feeds me and
I love
makes
that.
things worthwhile. I went back. I had a couple of bad things last summer. My uncle took his own life, so I went back for that funeral. One of my really close mates, his daughter was murdered, and I was sitting in both of those funerals, and they were very close together. So I flew back for both of them. Went back to England, went back to Dubai, and then had to go back again. And when I was sitting in those funerals, I thought life is just too short, and
Yeah,
and it was almost like those two people spoke to me. And I thought I'm gonna quit my job, and I did.
that's
So
amazing.
yeah.
Like
So
sad what happened to make you do it. It was an amazing. It gave you that
yeah,
inspiration to do it. Like,
yeah, and it's sort of for myself, but also for those two people, you know, because I know that they were very creative people. My uncle loved his music, um, and my mate's daughter, she was a dancer, a performer, and that would have been something that she wanted to do. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to do it. I know you both would have loved to have got into that thing, so I'm just gonna, no more hiding, no more keeping my music to myself, getting out there. What's the worst that can happen?
do you
If
know what? It's sad that it always takes something like tragic, doesn't it, to make people realize and then just do it. But it's nice that it comes to that way when eventually
but
when
it
they do
can
it.
do, because a lot of the time, we go through things, and for a couple of days we might think, I'm going to do this, and then you go back into your old routines again, and some of it's out of necessity, um, but this time I said no, that's it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it out there, and that's what I've done.
Ah,
But yeah,
brilliant.
they were tragedies, and but you've got to try and make the best out of life, because life goes like that sometimes, unfortunately, doesn't it? It's not all sunshine and rainbows,
Ah,
and we've got to make sure that we try and make as much of that as possible.
defo. What's sort of next for you then?
What's next? Um, get back to Dubai, um, get this super group together, and start doing a few gigs because I've done all the recording. Um, I want to play the songs now live. I want to get out there. I want that feel that energy on the stage and see people's reactions. Um, you know, I just need to get that done now. So that's the next thing. Get some gigs. I want to do some support slots. There's a lot of big gigs that go on in Dubai. There's a lot of
Yeah,
big artists that come over, and there are opportunities for local artists to perform. Um, I've stood there at a lot of gigs in Dubai and have seen some of the support acts, and I've thought my songs are better than this. And they weren't finished at the time. They weren't finished and recorded. And I thought, why can't you just sort yourself out, get it recorded, and get up there and do it? So that's what I need to do next. But I need to get a backing band together. Um, Need to get some videos of the gigs, and then there's some people who I need to send it to, and then hopefully I can get some support slots. And again, I'm not after massive record deals or massive publicity. It's something that I need to do now for me. Um, so that's what's driving me.
oh, wicked. Okay, well, that's it really. That was the gist of the chat, man. It was wicked. Enjoyed that.
Oh, well, thanks so much for getting in touch. Yeah, really, really appreciate you reaching out, and yeah, let's stay in touch.